Last time on Deconverted Man.
Alright, Blue Sheep, let's drive.
And that's why everything that you said in this video is completely wrong. Okay, there. I'm done. I'm done with that video. There's 2 more videos. Oh, bleep me. That weird dream that I had where I was letting my blue sheep drive me. That was weird. But it won't be as weird as this video. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Ya Cao. Today I want to share with you that you can actually know God exists using your brain to think. Many atheists insist on the proof of God's existence. They demand that it is the theist's responsibility to prove God exists. However, we are finite and temporal. How can we improve the infinite and the eternal God? If someone could do that, he himself would be God, wouldn't he? Exactly how do we perceive God? God is invisible, not like a physical object that we can see, hear, or touch. Bible Psalm 19 says, "The heaven declare the glory of God. Day after day they pour forth speech. They have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world."
Excuse me.
It will carry my power to every corner of creation.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
As you read it, it is a mouthful. One time it says speech and yet have no speech, words and yet have no words. Exactly what do they mean?
You doubt me?
I seek proof.
What it tells us is this. In this world, there is information without sound. However, you need to be humble, open your spiritual eyes and ears. Otherwise, you will see but not seen, and hear but not heard.
That's one way to view this particular verse from this particular holy writings. There are other holy writings, and there are other people that will interpret those holy writings in various ways. In fact, that verse has many different interpretations as well. Which one is correct? How do I know yours is correct? How do I know this holy book is the actual holy book versus the other holy books? Anyone can say that any book or writing or anything said is holy. And anyone can say that they understand what the holy words mean. But what we need is proof that that's holy in the first place. We need proof that their interpretation is the correct one. Without some methodology to determine that the holy book is holy in the first place, and that they also additionally have the correct interpretation of the various verses in that holy book, all we have is somebody saying, well, I think that this thing means that. Yeah, and I think it means something else. So what? Who's right? How do we determine that? What's the methodology being employed here? How do we know that these words are meant for us today? How do we know that this isn't just poetry? How do we know that this is applicable to reality and not metaphor? How do we know that this is actually inspired or written by any god? How do we know that any of it matters at all? Simply saying, well, the Bible says, is only going to convince people that think that the Bible is any sort of authority in the first place. So you need to explain why we should consider the Bible to be anything other than a work of fiction.
We have had many painters, sculptors, who had created some masterpieces. When an artist created an artwork, he had something in his mind he wanted to share with the world through it. Now many of these great masters have passed away, and yet their masterpieces are still expressing the master's minds continuously. These are the information without sound.
But the verse didn't say that. The verse said that the heavens declare the glory of God, whatever that means. What heavens? Are you talking about the sky? Or are you talking about the literal heaven? And what kind of glory are you speaking about? Which God? How do the skies proclaim the work of his hands? In what way? And to say that the skies are pouring forth speech, which they're not doing, and they cannot do, and then that they reveal knowledge, which also does not follow, because they don't have speech. They don't have words. And yet, sound is also not heard from them, which, I mean, you didn't really need to say because, I mean, yeah, there was no speech. I mean, it's kind of just redundant to say no sound is heard from. Yeah, we got it, okay. Their voice goes out to all the earth. No, it doesn't. They don't have a voice. Their words to the end of the world. The world has an end? Really? How does that work? You mean it's flat? Oh, no, you mean all around the globe is what you surely meant, right? But that's not what you said. So, you're taking this verse to mean that the sky is some sort of artwork, and that's declaring the glory of God. Because, well, why do you believe that? Oh, because the verse said that. Oh, okay, so you think that the way to know that there is a God is to read this verse in the way that you've interpreted it, look at the sky, and go, oh yeah, I totally get it. The Bible said the sky reveals God, therefore the sky reveals God because the Bible said it. Why, I think I can simplify that. The Bible's true because the Bible said it's true. That's not circular at all. You need to do better.
You don't need to study science to know how marvelous the universe is.
But it helps. The more you understand science, the better you understand the universe. The more you know, the more you can appreciate something, the more marvelous it becomes. But, yeah, you can know very little and still go, wow, this is cool. But it's even cooler when you know more about it. You know, I listened to Penn Jillette talk about magic tricks that fool him on the show. And he's like, you know, if you knew as much as I did, you'd be like, whoa, wait a minute, I can't believe you did that. Oh my word, that's really amazing. Like, he knows the different moves and stuff. So when somebody tricks him, when he's fooled and thinks it was one thing but it was something else, that's really amazing to him because they did it in a unique and different way. Something unexpected. That's the whole point of magic anyways, is to see something unexpected. But it's not magic, it's just sleight of hand. It's trickery. And such things are interesting to behold, but understanding them deeper can give you a deeper appreciation for the art involved. It's clear from your previous video that you do not comprehend biological evolution, and thus you are not an expert in that field, and that your understanding of science is rather dim. And so, listening to you speak about science? No. I'd rather listen to somebody that understands science, that can speak about it in an intelligent manner. I wouldn't go to a doctor who hadn't learned about biology. So, yeah, you might think that the universe looks cool, but whatever you have to say about it is simply uninformed.
Even to the point that it is impeccable. Everything is working so nicely together. If you plant some flowers in the spring, they will wither and die in the fall. And yet, they will come back to life next spring.
Have been subjected to a kind of word salad of scientific jargon used out of context with inappropriately, apparently uncomprehendingly.
How marvelous is that? The creation now is expressing God's mind. Where are these things come from?
I don't understand where this came from. They're for God. Oh my word. Go outside and look at the trees. Look at the sky. Look at the ground. It's so amazing. It must be from God. How do you explain all this? Oh my word. I just don't understand anything. Maybe if you learned science, you would understand it. But I don't need to know that to know that it looks cool. That's true. You don't need to know it to know that it looks cool. But you don't know how it works. You asked the question of where it came from. Well, if you knew science, then you would know the answer. Oh my God, jeez. It's like, I mean, come on. Come on. No, I'm done. No, I can't take anymore. That's it. I quit. I'm done. I'm done with this video.
Next time on Deconverted Man. That's next time on the exciting adventures of Deconverted Man!